top. Well, whoo, boy, Shane, it was revealed by our buddy. You like to call him Trey Schefter over there, Trey Wallace for Outkick. It turns out Southern Cal dragging their feet, Shane, with this Bru McCoy situation. That's why McCoy is not currently eligible. We'll get to Josh Heupel's comments here in a minute. I've already reached out to Trey. He's going to be joining the show on the next episode to kind of give us some insight into this situation. But, man, that's a damn shame, isn't it? Because last time I checked, Southern Cal, about half their team transferred in this offseason. So they're all about, hey, they got their arms wide open to transfers, but people transferring out. Let's make it as difficult as possible on them. And not a good look for Southern Cal. Shane, I don't know if you've seen it, but Tennessee Vol fans, they've got the number and the email of some of the administration up there, and they're being very public, letting that information out, saying, hey, give these people a call. Let's free Bru McCoy.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how this, because Coach Riley had talked to every player up there. He's talked to everyone that was transferring out. So, must have burned a couple bridges on the way out for them to be dragging their feet. But to say they ain't got time, Mike, if you got time to switch conferences, you've got time to sign a little form letting this kid play football in the University of Tennessee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is stupid, and I think you should take notice. I think Lincoln, you forget, man. You got to scratch my back, scratch your back. There's going to be a lot of SEC players that are going to try to go to USC. Through the years, and they remember this stuff. Coaches talk. So I think this is a dumb. This should not have taken this long. And I do love Tennessee. One thing about Tennessee, man, they know how to stir it up. They know how to make some noise, and they're making some folks' lives miserable out there in Southern California right now. I guarantee it.
Yeah, no doubt. Speaking of mixing it up, being interesting, Shane, I don't know if you saw this right before we hopped on, but the transfer running back, Lynn J. Dixon, he's been with the team for about 2 weeks here, no longer on the team. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. I said when he was added to the roster, don't get too excited about this guy. I mean, I'm not trying to downgrade him, but he was pretty solid as a freshman. Pretty good as a sophomore, and then the last 2 years, basically nothing. I have no idea what the backstory is, but a guy on the team for 2 weeks, and now he's gone. I don't think this is – it hurts your depth, obviously. Tennessee's only got 4 scholarship running backs, but you may be better off without a guy like this,
Yeah, it's the same old, A couple weeks ago, I was talking about how excited I am this kid's on the team. Now I'm like, we didn't really need him, Now that I think about it, I think it was 5th on the depth chart. But, we need depth.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's a blow. We don't know the circumstances. But, if it's bad for the team or bad for the player, then maybe it's good that he does move on.
Yeah. And final thing, Shane, let's kick it over to Josh Heupel real quick, who – other than running back, he seems very happy with the depth and the speed where this roster is going into year 2 as opposed to last training camp. And he talks a little bit about this Bru McCoy situation, and he makes it very clear, hey, this ain't on us. This ain't on Tennessee. We're waiting for that paper to get signed, so to speak.
Yeah.
With him, how do you feel about your depth overall on both sides of the ball this year compared to a year ago this time?
Yeah, just in pure numbers. Athletic movement, skill sets, much deeper, in particular on the defensive side of the football. It's evident in some of the skill spots offensively too. Those young guys that are part of what I'm talking about still have to push and get themselves ready to go play on game day. There's some things that we got to clean up. Game day management, those guys operating, some of those guys on special teams, but feel like we are a much deeper football team than we were a year ago, and that's going to play out as you inevitably have some injuries during the season. But I think in particular on the defensive side of the football, you'll see more rotation and a lot of guys playing.
Josh, I was wondering if you had an update on Bru McCoy and with that situation and with the season kind of getting closer and closer. How much of a heads up do y'all need for him to get into the game plan for the first game, knowing that you're uncertain right now?
Yeah, obviously, getting him prepared, being able to rep him, all of those things, you'd like that before you start your regular game plan week. You know what I mean? Essentially 7 days before kickoff. That's, best case scenario where you're able to work him and incorporate him and plan for what it's going to look like when we run out of the tunnel. Our administration's, done everything that they possibly can. They've been great throughout the entire process, from the very beginning, and they're still working as hard as they can to give him the opportunity to play.
And y'all still don't know when you might get an answer?
I don't have an answer on that. There's, some things that are out of my control, Bru's control, and our administration's control in this process, and everybody on our side is working as hard as they possibly can to make sure that we come to a resolution as quickly as possible and give a kid an opportunity to go play.